Hello all, welcome to this little video. I wanted to share with you a sneak peek of our member page. This is something that I spent last fall putting together and creating videos and curated content for you guys so that if your student is a little bit stuck with reading and they're not moving forward, or if you're struggling a little bit more and need support, want to try things at home on your own, then this is the perfect option for you. A couple things to keep in mind. This is not a replacement for a curriculum, but is more of a supplement for a curriculum. And the other thing to keep in mind is that it's not only for students who have reading struggles like dyslexia, this is for any student. And if you are a new parent and are not sure how to introduce certain things like phonograms or how to help your student blend the words together or read more fluently, this is also going to be helpful for you, as well as for those families whose students have reading struggles like dyslexia. So this is kind of created for both. These are excellent research-based practices and also a couple tips that we've used in our own teaching over the past more than a decade at this point of working with students who have reading struggles. So it's a compilation of, again, research-based practices and reading strategies and tips that have really worked and been effective for the students that we've worked with. And it's designed for any student who's having a reading struggle or for newer families or those who maybe need a refresher on how to teach a student how to read. So this is hopefully going to help a lot of different families, a lot of you out there, so that reading is not a chore and a painful activity and can eventually be a fun and joyful activity. So without further ado, I'm going to show you what our member page looks like so that, you see the what it looks like on our website, but you don't really see the back end until you sign up. So I wanted to show you the back end. It's definitely the back end. So you're going to see what it looks like from my view, but it'll have all the components that you're going to see, minus the toolbar on the side. So here we go. Let me share with you guys. So this is what the welcome page is going to look like, and we have three distinct categories. We have the videos, which I will show you last, and then the resources that I've curated, specially curated for you, resources that we use that we find that are effective and to the point without a lot of extra fluff of instruction and stuff like that. Um, and then frequently asked questions. And both the resources page and the frequently asked questions page, we may add a couple more. We're going to be slowly adding to that as we grow. And if you guys have any questions, definitely feel free to write us and ask your questions and say, we think this would be helpful on the resource page, or sorry, the frequently asked questions. So I'm going to go there first. This is still being built out a little bit, but this is going to have basic questions. And again, um, this is something where we want to tailor this to the specific questions that we receive from you. So questions from you guys are going to be amazing and helpful, and we are going to build this out as we go. The resource page is the fun part. I spent a while putting this together. We have pulled resources from various websites, and we're going to still continue pulling those, especially if any of these links are no longer, if they start breaking or anything like that, we're going to put more on so you guys constantly have good and quality resources. And these are categorized by like what type of word. There are phonemic awareness links because we're finding that a lot of students are not very strong with phonemic awareness, the ability to hear the sounds in a word. So that has a few links in there. And then red flags and tips. These are personal red flags and tips that I put in there. Um, Recommended literacy plan, how long to spend doing each different component of a literacy lesson. And this would be a very complete literacy lesson. I'd recommend doing all of it in one sitting or maybe breaking it into two parts, but I would not scatter it throughout the entire day. You want to have quality, sustained attention in a literacy lesson. And then something else that we're working on is I pulled a couple of semi-quality book lists together that are leveled by Lexile, which is a very specific way of finding your students um, easy, not instructional reading level, but independent reading level. So there's instructional, independent, and then there's also frustration or emerging. But you want to find one that's easy for your student and stick with that Lexile for a while. That Lexile is going to be way more specific than a grade level because, for example, a third grade reading level can have a Lexile starting at, or second grade, 400 Lexile up to 600 Lexile, and that's going to be a huge difference in books. So we have a couple book lists that we pulled from other places just to kind of fill in those slots, but we're also creating our own leveled book list so that you can find quality books that are leveled by Lexile when we can find the Lexile. Some of those older books we can't find the Lexile, so you're just going to have to guess. And then with these resources, I also created all of these specialized videos so that you guys know how to introduce things, how to practice things a certain way. If your student is really tired of practicing something one way, then you could come here and find an alternate way to practice something. Sometimes it takes switching something up in order for your student to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm okay doing it this way. And then you're still getting that practice in. Um, but also, if you're learning how to introduce something, how do I blend words very well? How do I take my student from reading words in a list to reading words in a book? This would be the area where you would want to learn how to do that. Finger tracing is really important and used in a lot of different things that we do. And then again, decoding, blending, informal spelling, reading strategies, positive reinforcement, and error correction. So I tried to put together the basics of what you guys would need in order to practice um, reading at home. So again, this is not a replacement for a curriculum. It is a supplement, but it should be an easy supplement. And our hope is that it's highly effective for any parents out there that are teaching their students how to read. It's a subscription model, so you sign up and you have access to all of these things as long as you hold the subscription. And then once you feel like you're ready to move on, you can just cancel that and you don't have to keep paying for it. So, hopefully it's an easy add-on that you guys can use. And again, this is most specifically for newer families who are learning how to teach their students how to read. But it's also applicable for those who maybe want to do things a little bit differently with their next couple kids. And it's definitely for those who have students with reading struggles like dyslexia and things like that. This addresses mostly just the mechanics of reading, but that's what you need to focus on for a while in order to get you need to learn to read in order to read to learn. So this is focusing on learning to read. So anyway, if you have questions and you sign up and you're like, okay, this is a major question I have, I'm sure other families have this question, then feel free to email us and say, hey, I've subscribed to the membership. I think this question would be great in your question and answer section. We are currently collecting questions for that right now. So feel free to email us with any of those questions, but we hope this is a helpful resource for you guys and enjoy exploring it.